Welcome to the SustainIAP tutorial on Corrective Action. We have added a Corrective Action Management module to the program to assist you with the closing out of findings raised during either an internal or an external audit campaign. The relevant people in the organization needs to sign off on the audit. In the Operations tab, navigate to your operation. Here the lead auditor needs to go and lock the campaign. This will mean that no further editing of the findings or ratings can be undertaken. With the push of this button, the lead auditor can now transfer all of the findings raised to the Corrective Action module. In the left-hand menu, look for the Corrective Action button. Navigate to the overview, and you will see that no actions have been allocated to heads of department or responsible persons as yet. Someone in your organization will need to allocate actions to a department head or department heads who will take responsibility for closing out of the findings. This can be done in one of two ways. You can either click here, and you will see all of the questions for which findings were raised during this audit campaign. You can also navigate here through the elements and through the aspects, as well as select questions to go and allocate it to a head of department. The second way of doing this is to navigate through to the Actions tab. You will see here the statuses, and you will see that all actions are currently unassigned. Similar to the previous method, you can navigate down to the findings by selecting a specific question which you want to go and allocate to a department head. We have now allocated a number of actions to our lead auditor and our operational site administrator. In our status overview, you can now see that a number of actions have been completed, are in progress but on target, are in progress and overdue, some actions have been placed on hold, and for some of our actions, capital will be required. From here, in the status overview, you can click through to go and view, in this case, the actions that are on target, and you will see all of the questions, the department head, responsible person, and target date for each one of these actions. Next, we can see the actions by department head. Again, you can click through to go and view the actions allocated to this department head. You can also see the actions by responsible person, and here we can see statistics on some of our other action points like a risk assessment, final closeout, effectiveness review, etc. Let me show you how to action a finding. Navigate to the Corrective Action button and to Actions. And here you will see all of the elements and aspects that have been audited during this campaign, as well as a status update of our corrective action process. Let's go to the environmental element, select our first aspect that we will be addressing, and here you will see all of the questions for which findings were raised. For the aspect air quality and greenhouse gas emissions in this example, you can now go and view the statuses of all of the findings, and in this example you will see that there's currently no actions allocated to these statuses. By clicking on a question, you will be taken to the Corrective Actions page. Here you will see the question, the disciplines to which this question applies, the flag, the finding and recommendation raised, and you will see the Corrective Action section. The first step in the corrective action process is to allocate a department head, responsible person, and target date. Given that our target date is in the future, you will see that the program automatically updated the status to on target. Similarly, when a target date has been selected that is in the past, the application will automatically change the status to overdue. Let's say in this case, we know that a process of capital application needs to be followed. We can simply select capital required, and you will see that the color changes to blue, which indicates to us that capital is required for this action. In certain cases, you may want to place the action on hold. In step number 2, we want to go and verify that we've assessed the unintended consequences that may be introduced through the planned action. A risk assessment needs to be completed, which is confirmed here. Records of both the unintended consequence assessment and the risk assessment needs to be retained by the operation. Next, we will add a description of the action taken. All of these steps need to be completed in order for you to move on to the initial closeout section. When a previous step wasn't completed, the system won't allow you to proceed to the next step, as you will see in this message. Simply click on OK, complete the previous action, and you can now progress to the next step. Once initial closeout has been achieved, select a date on which this was signed off, as well as the person's name who's responsible for this initial closeout. You can now progress to Step 4. Step 4 is the effectiveness review. This is done to ensure that the action implemented has achieved the desirable level of effectiveness in the organization. Again, select the date on which the effectiveness review was completed, as well as the person responsible for completing this effectiveness review. The final step in the corrective action process is for the department head to finally close out the action. You will see that the action has now been changed by the system to having been completed. Next, you will save the action and move on to the next one. At any time, you can navigate back to either the tabularized statistics on your actions or to the status overview dashboard. Group level management can view the status of any previous campaign's corrective action and can access this from anywhere where they have internet connectivity. It is also useful to note that group level management can also be assigned to an action either as a department head or as a responsible person, thereby allowing collaboration between your operations and head office. We hope that you enjoy the corrective action module, and we hope that it will make your life a little bit easier in closing out your audit findings. See you in the next tutorial. Have a good day. Goodbye.